I can't sleep. Every night, my mind races full of thoughts of the things that I need to do and the things that I should have done, and before I know it, I try to make it through the day, but the only thing that I really want to do is just go to bed. Until I get to bed, that is, which is the only moment in the day where I'm wide awake and just thinking about all of these things that I need to do. It kind of feels like being stuck on a time loop, where day after day I cannot work because I'm too tired, but I cannot sleep because I didn't get anything done today. I've tried everything that I can think of, from taking melatonin to working from an office instead of from home, but it's not really a problem of the body, it's a problem of the mind. I need to get these thoughts out of my head. I told myself I wasn't going back to bed until I found a solution to my problem. And luckily for me, the solution was really simple. Writing things down so that my mind isn't scared that I'm going to forget them tomorrow and can relax and let go. So, good news and bad news. The good news is I did sleep significantly better yesterday. The bad news is, since I wrote most of my notes half asleep, I have no idea what any of this says. Thankfully, there's a very easy solution, which is my phone. This way, hopefully, no matter how asleep I am, I should be able to understand what I wrote the next morning. You can probably guess exactly how that went. I picked up the phone, got flashed by the screen, and before I knew it, I had stopped writing the things that I wanted to write and started just doom scrolling for way too long, getting distracted, going to sleep way later than I had originally hoped for. It did give me an idea though. I mean, the solution definitely works. I was able to sleep better and I can read back what I wrote. I just need something without a screen. This is the TP7 by Teenage Engineering, a tape recorder that records your voice and does absolutely nothing else. Is it the solution to my problem? Let's find out. So I now have a way of getting thoughts out of my head whenever I'm trying to sleep, and then kind of putting them back in the morning by listening back to whatever I said last night. The main issue is I need to listen to whatever I said last night, which most of the times is just me mumbling and rambling for hours instead of just getting to the point. So now the problem is not sleeping, the problem is getting to work, because I wake up and I really don't want to go listen to whatever I said last night. To try to make this a little better, I turned to the companion app that comes with the tape recorder, which lets you download the recordings over Bluetooth and then just get a transcription. And that is better because I no longer have to listen to me slowly talking about it and getting to the point. I can just read through it. But it's still not fun. Turns out, ChatGPT is actually really good at taking my mess of an audio and giving me a bunch of bullet points of what I was trying to say, or just like a list of tasks that I need to do the next day. So that's good, but it means that every day I wake up, I need to go to my office, copy the audio, transcribe it, wait for it to transcribe, and then send it to ChatGPT, and then I finally get the things that I would like to do. Not that long, but not something that I want to do every single day of my life from now on. So I started looking at ways to make it so I didn't have to do all of this myself, to automate some of it. I looked at the source code for the app because you can just do that for some of the apps. Sure, it's not as clean as the developers that wrote it, but you can always go in and try to figure out what's going on. In fact, I discovered something really fun about the app for this device, which is that it was written with a game engine instead of the way that you would usually build apps. Now, this is not really helpful at all for what I'm trying to do, but I thought it was really cool. Anyways, I snuggled around there. I was looking for exactly how the app communicates with a tape recorder over Bluetooth to download the things. I couldn't figure it out. And so I emailed the company that makes this. I emailed Teenage Engineering and I was like, hey, can I have some example code? Can I have a spec? Can you share how you're doing this? And they basically got back to me saying, you're not supposed to be doing this. We cannot provide this to you, which fair enough. I'm guessing not a lot of people use this, but still it would have been cool. So I cannot connect to a tape recorder on my own. I cannot do any of these things. So I guess there's no other choice. I'm going to have to build a tape recorder thing myself. There are 3 things that you need to build your own tape recorder or something like that. First, you need something that will be the brains of the operation. And for that, I'm going to be using the ESP32 chip. This tiny little guy can execute code, has Bluetooth built in and has Wi-Fi built in. So that should make it really easy to, send the things to a computer for it to do the transcription, all of those hard things later. Next, you need a way for that brain to hear things. You need a microphone. And when looking around, I found this Echo Starter Kit, which is meant to build some of those home automation devices where you tell them to turn off your lights or whatever. But it has a microphone and it has a button. So it already has most of the things that we need for it to work. However, it is very, very small. And I know that if I leave this on my nightstand, it's going to disappear basically the next day. So we're going to make it look nice. We're going to build a little case so that it's something you can hold in your hand, you press down, you say something, you release, and that's it. So I took out my caliper, took some measurements, and started working on the case in Fusion 360. When a friend sent me a link to Open Interpreter, which is a project that tries to use AI to control your computer, it doesn't really matter. The point is, they use the same component as I'm using for this project, and they already made a really sick case that fits most of our design constraints. So I'm going to send that off to a 3D printer and start working on most of the project, which is all of the software that is gonna both run on the component and also run on my computer to transcribe and summarize all of the things that I say at night. Okay, it's 2 a.m., but I think I finally got it working. The way that it works is when you press the button on the case, it will start sending audio to my computer. It doesn't really store it because it doesn't have space, but it sends it to my computer. And then when I press the button again, it will stop sending the audio to the computer. Then throughout the night, the computer will use local AI models to transcribe the audio into text and then summarize it into bullet points. This is sick because it means that I'm not sending my ramblings anywhere. It's all happening locally. It deletes the audio, and then if it works, when I wake up and I come here, I should see just a list of the things that I said I needed to do. As I mentioned, it's quite late, it's 2 a.m. right now, so I am going to go to bed and we'll see tomorrow if it worked. Good night. That night, I could barely contain my excitement. Would it work? Luckily, I had just the thing to talk to. Took me a while, but I ended up falling asleep while talking to it. I went straight to my computer after waking up. I couldn't wait to see if it had worked. Unlocked it and... staring back at me were a few bullet points of all of the things that I wanted to do today. And with that done, I could finally start my day.